Hey guys, welcome to Nerd Talk TV, and today I wanted to talk about TitanFall 2. So, if you don't already know, EA has officially announced that TitanFall 2 is under development by Respawn, and they said that we can expect it around the second half of 2016. So I wanted to go over what I would like to see in TitanFall 2 and what can be improved upon since the last one. So as many of you may know, at least on PC, Titanfall kind of had a short life, and the biggest reason for that was it was just kind of a bad launch, I would say. When it first came out, there were only a few game modes worth playing, and there was not a lot of customizability. There wasn't any custom matches there. It was just very limited. But over the game's lifespan, they have added almost everything that everyone wanted to be in the first game. But the problem is that it's just the game is too dead now for there to be a healthy community. So what I think would be ideal for the next Titanfall is to have a very strong launch. When the game comes out, they need to have everything that is in Titanfall right now and more. So there needs to be the same amount of content, if you will. I feel like if it has a stronger launch, then overall it will have a much longer lifespan, because when some people see that a game has a terrible launch and they are thinking about buying it, then they're just not going to buy it. And those who have bought it sometimes just flock away to a different game that they feel is better. Another thing is that there needs to be a bigger variety of weapons in the game. Now I know that for the pilots and the Titans combined, there is a decent number of guns, but I feel like there needs to be more, because especially as infantry, the two most used guns are the assault rifle and the smart pistol. And that brings us to our next point. Now I know some of you may disagree with me on this, but I feel like the majority of you can agree. There should be no smart pistol in Titanfall 2. Now, I understand how Respawn went about this gun. It's aimed more towards people who aren't so accurate but still want to play a game. But I just, every time I get killed by that thing, I'm like, if he didn't have a gun that aimed for him, I probably could have come out of that firefight alive, because I had more skill than the player I was fighting against. But because he had a gun that aimed for him, I ended up dying. And it's really annoying to get killed by it. I personally think it's cheap, and it just very controversial, but I think that it should not be in the next Titanfall for good reason. So that brings to another point, is that I feel like there needs to be more Titan gameplay. And what I mean by this is that at the start of the round, everyone is a pilot. No one has a Titan unless if you have a burn card that gives you a Titan at the start of the match. And it goes on for about, I would say, an average about 3 minutes before someone can call in a Titan. 3, maybe 4 minutes. And after that point, it just kind of becomes pilots have to hide from Titans and wait for their Titan to come. So I kind of want to say that there needs to be a longer respawn time for Titans. I feel like Titans should be more of a, I don't know how to say this. I think they should be more of a kind of something that isn't so common. Like maybe every game you get 1 or 2 instead of 3, 4, or even 5. I think that the respawn time needs to be longer, and I think that it needs to be something that's just not quite so common, I guess is what I'm saying. Because at the end of the match, if you don't have a Titan, then you're basically just getting tossed around by everyone who has a Titan. So I feel like it needs to be more balanced, and there needs to be overall more pilot gameplay in the regular attrition game mode, since that, I would say, is probably the most played game mode out of the whole bunch. Which also leads us into our next point. There needs to be, especially at launch, more game modes, because there is a lot of game modes in Titanfall right now. The only problem is that people really only play 2 or 3 of them, and at least on PC the stats is there's roughly 700 people on at any given time a day, and that out of those 700 people, roughly 500 of them are playing attrition. So really, if you want to play a game mode, this is just on PC. I'm not too sure for what it's like on the Xbox, but you're basically gonna have to play attrition, and that's kind of disappointing because there are other fun game modes out there. I know that one of my favorites was Last Titan Standing. There's game modes like Campaign. That's also another commonly played one, but it's harder to find a match for that. And I feel like when you put game mode into the game, no one wants these gimmicky things like capture the flag or something that no one really plays. So when they develop these game modes, I feel like they need to be something that's actually worth playing, instead of a gimmicky something that's going to last for a week or two. Now, one thing that I really like that Respawn did, and this is just kind of a last hope to bring more people back to the game, is they released all the DLC for free, and that's something that I really would like to see them do again in Titanfall 2. But the last point, short and simple, is that they need to have it on all platforms. It needs to be included on PS4, Xbox One, and PC, because it was quite divided, not being on PS4, especially being a launch for the next gen. But yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. We will catch you in the next one.